Mobile phone apps, part 1. So the first app we're going to look at is a SDR app for your phone. Mine's an Android phone and it's called SDR Touch. I use one of the standard RTL type dongles, and it's connected to my phone with this lead here. It's called a USB on the go lead, and you need it to make your phone the host. You can use it with keyboards and mice and memory sticks and things like that. You'll notice that my dongle's got an extra lead coming out of it. This is so I can power it from a separate battery. So I'll start up the software. It looks very similar to David's and everyone else's software. As I said, I also have a battery, and these ones you can use to charge your phone up, and I'll plug that in so that I give my phone a rest. I've got a longer aerial for my SDR stick, just because it helped, especially where I work. So if I plug in the antenna, we'll see if we get any radio. So it works much in the same way as most of these SDR things work. You can adjust the bandwidth, like so. And the way that adjusts depends on what version you're using. If I'm using, say, lower sideband, you see, look, there it is. It's on the lower sideband, maximum 3K. Sorry, 300K all the way down to 30K from 20K. Okay, so I'll put it back on FM because I have something I've saved, and hopefully I'll pick it up in a minute. It's this one here. You can store stuff in memory on the side here, and it remembers the frequency and what type of modulation you're using. So if I turn it on now, it's not. Oh. No, I'm not getting it here, which is mildly irritating. I'll turn this off in a minute. It has a waterfall, you see, and the waterfall's very handy, of course, but because this is the demo version, I'm too cheap to pay for the full version. It only lasts for 60 seconds at a time. You can reset it by turning the thing on and off. If I go jump, and you can type in a frequency. Let's try 98. And there we go. Let's have a look and see if we can find any. I've got something off the side there. And where are all the broadcast bands? Oh, it's in here. Well, that was a stunning success. a lot of that to do is the fact that I don't get very good radio reception here. But it does all the standard sorts of things you'd expect, and you can zoom in as well. Okay, so you can actually you can tailor this right down to really quite small. I mean, obviously this is FM, it'd be different if you were choosing one of the side bands. So that's the first app we're going to look at. A lot of these options here I'm not allowed to choose because I'm only using the demo version. So I think that will do on that one for now. Okay, so if we actually, I'll shut it so I don't want it in the background. And I'll unplug that stick. Let's get that out of the way. So, the next one I will start going is the DX cluster. And this can be a bit temperamental when it comes to picking up spots. So I'll point out a few things now. I'll start it running and then we'll look at it in a minute. So, this button here is the connect button, and you see I'm going to connect to K1EU DX cluster. Over here you've got all the various frequencies that it will look for, and these are actually sort of the portion of the band it looks at. Under filters you can pick what band you want to look at. So at the moment I'm looking at 20 meters with everything. I'm asking it to look for people who spot calls with a G or an M call sign. So that's people obviously are picking up DX into the UK. One thing you can set it up if you're after a particular entity for DX or one of the competitions, you can set it up so it buzzes or beeps and does things like that for you. So if I click the connect button, it has got a network, and I'll leave it running in the background. You can just see it's got this little symbol here. I think what we'll look at next is the Morse app. Okay, so a lot of you, myself included, trying to learn Morse code. This is a Koch and Farnsworth style tutor by a, I think he's Italian, amateur, and it's quite good. I'll show you some of the bits you can do now. So see the cogs here, that's your settings. So you can have change your words a minute playback. I've got mine set at 18 at the moment. And of course if you have character spacing set at 1, then that would be Koch mode, and then obviously it lets you space out the characters here up to 8 times the normal gap. And word spacing the same. So I've got mine set on 2.5 times at the moment, so I'm sort of got a bit of a Farnsworth method going on. I think it works at about 10 words a minute. Tone pitch, okay, well yeah, you can vary the frequency of the noise from 300 up to 2K. Dot pitch, you can have the dot at a slightly higher pitch than the dash in an attempt to try and make it more obvious. And the more letters you learn, the less the shift in pitch becomes. I've not bothered with that. You can change the length of your start pause. It has a speech mode, and so when you get your string of Morse characters, after it's played them, it then gives you the phonetic read back of what it's just played, and you can adjust the time before and after speaking, so that if you're, say, on walking along, you can have it play to you, play a string of letters, and then you can say the letters out loud to yourself that you've heard, and then it tells you what it actually played you. Length of exercise, anything up to 10 minutes. Word length, you can pick various lengths, or you can have it on variable. I think variable is probably better, because that way it stops you memorising 5-letter code groups, which is all very well if you're a spy, but not much use if anything else. Character sequence, so it's got a variety of different sequences built in. I tend to use G4FOM. The Koch level, so this is what letter you're up to. So I've got mine set on up to A at the moment. Hard letters, so you can check on if you've got any particular ones that you're up to on here. You can select it if you find it a bit trickier. It's got some pro signs on as well at the bottom there. And auto hard letters, it automatically increases the frequency of the last 2 letters that you're learning. And custom string, will come to that in a minute. So you can see you can adjust the speed on this bottom bar here if you want as well. So if you click the play, 3 seconds wait, and then it starts. U and A are the last 2 letters that I'm learning, so as you can see they're coming out with quite a fair bit of frequency. Go to sleep. Okay, we'll stop that now. So that's the sort of the standard way of using it. The other option is this file button, and built in, I've copied them onto my phone. I've got just some text files, as you can see here, and if I say select that one, it'll tell me it's loaded it up, and I can click play. Turn the volume down a bit. Now obviously it's playing this back at my current Farnsworth settings of 18 words a minute, but with 2.5 times the gap in letters and in words. And it will stand there and play the whole text file if you wanted it to. So here we go, this is a text file, so these are the 2 correspondents. Good day old man, thanks for a report. You know, so it's using the sort of form of expression CW speak. It's kind of a precursor to text speak, I suppose, in many respects. And of course, if you wanted to make your own files up, if you wanted to practice on listening to your own call sign, for example, for practice in contests, it would let you do that, of course. There are better contest programs, of course. I think we'll stop that there. So that's that. It's good, and it's free, which is always a bonus. So we'll shut it down. Alright, has the DX cluster actually come up with anything? Yeah, here we go. So this is the DX cluster. We're looking at 40 megahertz. So it gives you some information at the bottom. You've got some factor, some spots. You've got A and K's. And this bit here, of course, is this is solar storm information. Okay. And you can scroll up. And these are all call signs that have been spotted in the UK. You can see the spotters here. Okay. I assume this is back yesterday now. And you can change the filters and stuff like that. To log into the DX cluster, of course, you need to log in with your call sign. And it does give you an option of a whole range of different clusters that you might prefer to log into. I just chose K1EU completely at random. And that's pretty much the DX cluster. And it will sit there in the background running. And it'll tell you, silly email, it'll tell you here what the last spot is and at what the time is. That's quite handy. You can just leave it running in the background. I think we'll exit from this now. Exit. That switches it off. Now the last two we're going to look at are two programs like that. Yeah, that's a couple of pound, that one. These two are about £3 each-ish. And they are Droid PSK and Droid RTTY, which, as you'd probably expect, do exactly what they sort of say on the tin. Let's open up PSK first. As you can see, it's decoding absolute gobbledygook because it can hear my voice. It picks up signals from the microphone and it outputs to its speaker as well. Okay, so here you can put in people's call signs, their name, their location, their locator, frequency, sent and received, and any comments you want. And it's got a log. You can add it to a log. It logs in UTC. You basically you tap on a word. Let's see if let me tap on Ian. So it's highlighted Ian now, and I can just paste that in. And then I can add him to the log. It's easy enough. I can clear the screen. It's got clipboard and stuff. Like most PSK and RTTY stuff, it works on macros. And what you do with this is you wrong one. No, it's under that one. So you fill all your station information into here. Quite well, you want to put weather and temperature, and I've got no idea. Cancel. And then when you set up your macro, which you do by push and hold in, you can see across the bottom here, this is the macro for CQ. So it starts, which means it starts transmitting. So then I've got CQ, CQ, CQ from my call sign, my call sign, my call sign, please K, and then stop transmitting. Now obviously you can put any various bits and bobs into this. Okay, and once you're happy with that, you can change the button colour and everything. Now when I click on this, let's pick a reasonable sounding frequency so I don't blow everyone's ears out. There you go, transmit and stop. I can transmit other stuff if I like. No, it's not doing that for some reason. Maybe I need to start TX. But anyway, so a lot of these ones don't have a start option in. I've got them here. Okay. Some of these ones, like reply, for example, I've got start transmission, his call sign, UR59. Okay, it's just a quick bounce back to somebody, for example. Options under the tool, you can have it in PSK 31 or 63. Change your baud rate. There is an optional Bluetooth kind of interface. You can make these up yourself. There's a good article in, I think it's in Practically Witless. Full screen, screen lock. You can turn that one on so it stops the screen turning off. Change the font, the waterfall, and all these sorts of things. And of course, it's after your ratings. That's quite a nice little program, works quite well. And RTTY, of course, is much the same interface. Move your tuning across there for your waterfall, much in the same way. There you go. It sort of seems to play a bit before and after. I think that's some sort of attempt to trigger a Vox, if you've got Vox. And you can do the same with calls, names, locations and stuff, and you can add it to your log if you want. All the setup for your information, your station information, is exactly the same as the other one. With setup, your stuff you've got, mode is interesting. I've currently got mine set on this rather strange setting here. 50 baud with 85 shift, which is DWD long wave. So this is German weather reports on the long wave bands. And I've logged into the SDR at 20 in the Netherlands, and it picked up the German naval weather reports on the phone. It's quite interesting enough to do. Bluetooth again. You can swap your you can connect your phone with a Bluetooth module if you're willing to do a bit of soldering. Reverse. I'm not quite sure. It's just a switches your mark and space frequencies around. Well, this is RY, it sends at the start of each. I presume it's a bit like sending lots of V's before a CW transmission to get the person ready for it. And the other stuff's much the same as the PSK program. Helps if you hit the cross. And get rid of the cluster as well. And that's it. The only last one I've got is repeater book, but unfortunately I haven't got my GPS set on at the moment, so that one's not quite working. But Dave was showing me that the other night, Dave M5 DWI, and it looked very good, and perhaps some of you might be interested in that. Anyway, I hope this hasn't been too boring for you, and I'm sure we can have a bit of a chat afterwards. Cheers, thanks for that, bye.